Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll be doing a review on the Ring of the Cage C17 2.0 Japanese style boxing gloves. So stay tuned. Hey guys, Carlo here, and today I'm doing a review on an old friend and one of the original Japanese style boxing gloves, the Ring to Cage C17 2.0 Japanese inspired boxing gloves. I got mine in the red colorway, 16 ounces in lace up. You can get this in multiple colorways. If you're interested, just go to the Ring to Cage website and you can check it out there. You can get this anywhere between 12 and 18 ounces, and they also offer this in a Velcro closure. One thing to mention as well is that you get two types of laces that is included with the gloves. You have the standard cotton laces that are round, and you also get a pair of these elastic laces, which I actually removed the cotton ones and put these in. So it's a personal preference thing, but it's nice that they add in a pair of elastic laces for you as well. Now, I did a review on a blue pair of Ring to Cage C17 2.0 gloves years ago. I want to say maybe 7 or 8 years ago that I did a review. It might have been even longer than that. They were a blue pair in Velcro. Was really impressed by those gloves. And at the time, you didn't have as many companies as you do now. I think the only other company at that time of that review that was doing like kind of like a winning style glove was Triumph United, that had their Death Adder gloves. But outside of that, Ring to Cage was one of the first, outside of Triumph United, that kind of came up with their own version of a winning style glove. And the reason for that is we all know that winnings are amazing gloves, but they're also really expensive. Not everybody can afford them. And so you started seeing more companies over the years start to develop a glove that was quote unquote Japanese inspired. So kind of taking the elements of what makes winning such an amazing glove and building their own. And then obviously the price point is much more affordable, and it's kind of the same case with these. I got these gloves, have been using them for a couple of weeks now as part of my rotation. I decided to get another pair because quite frankly it's been so many years and I haven't used the original blue ones I had years ago. I don't even have those anymore. So I wanted to try them out to see how they are. It's been so many years that have passed, and I've gone through so many different gloves and I've reviewed so many gloves that you kind of tend to forget how the originals were compared to how they are now. So I got these, have been using them, and I did notice that there's a couple of small little differences than the original blue pair that I had, and maybe it's just over the years the manufacturing has been modified just a little bit, but I definitely feel that there's a couple small key differences that I'll explain to you guys here in a second. So first things first, the glove itself is manufactured in Pakistan, full genuine leather construction. And just like the originals, the leather on here is fantastic quality. You'll notice that it has a matte finish to it. It's not a very shiny glove in terms of like the sheen of the leather. It does have that matte finish. You have the classic Ring to Cage logo on the back of the glove. You have a double segmented cuff. So you have the smaller portion right here at the ridge with the stitching right there. And then you also have the classic Ring to Cage patch on the back of the glove. The patch kind of reminds me of those type of patches that you find like on a pair of like camouflage like BDUs, like someone in the military would wear, with the patch stitched on there that has kind of that rolled piping edge, so it's not sharp. So I do like the fact that the patch doesn't feel cheap, and it does have those rolled edges that give it a little bit more of a softer touch to it. So you have that Ring to Cage right there. The piping on the glove is going to be white, just like winning, with the offset color. So white piping all the way throughout. The liner is kind of a tricot microfiber liner. So it's not a satin liner like the winning gloves. I do like the liner on this. You also notice that it does have where it's manufactured in Pakistan with the weight tag on the inside. You have, I'd say, maybe 1.5 inches of medium density padding on the back of the wrist. And you'll notice that Ring to Cage really puts an emphasis on wrist support. You also have about 1/2 inch of padding on the inside wrist. That comes up to right about here, as well as on this side as well. You'll notice that it does have some kind of an indentation from me using the laces on the gloves. That kind of keeps it pushed in where it's at right there. You'll see that you have that lace track with the piping. You also have 16 ounces on the grip bar. The grip bar on this is more on the flatter side. It kind of has almost like a rectangular feel to it rather than a rounded type feel. You'll notice that the grip bar kind of ends a little prematurely on the outside edge. Should have been a little bit longer in my opinion. It does say 16 ounces, and you also do have a leather attached thumb. No ventilated holes on the palm or the thumb as well. So just to show you guys, I'd say that the profile of the glove sizing wise for a 16 ounce glove is about spot on. It's not an overly huge glove, but it's definitely not compact. I'd say it's right there in the middle in terms of sizing for a 16 ounce glove. Quality wise, the glove is very nice. I still think that this is one of the better quality gloves that is made in Pakistan. The leather on here has a very nice premium feel, full grain leather that they use in the glove. You can see there's no imperfections in the leather. I do love the way the color is on this glove. Stitching on the glove is pretty solid. I'd say the only areas that I found any kind of concern with is kind of like the, where is it at? Right here on the back of the wrist, with the stitching being a little bit crooked on the seam that connects the back of the hand compartment to the lower wrist section. But outside of that, I mean, you can see that the stitching looks really clean. The double stitching throughout looks really nice. Even on the grip bar. I wish the grip bar was a little bit longer. Weight wise, the gloves came in at about 16.2 ounces. So they're pretty much exactly on weight. There it goes. There's the liner. Looks good as well. You do have that ring to cage that's printed into the liner. The glove is very well balanced. And again, they do a nice job of really putting an emphasis on the wrist support with this glove. Palm side, the edges are rolled nicely. So the stitching is done very well. You can see the foam is bonded to the leather in the fingertips nicely. Same thing where the index finger meets the thumb. Looks to be done very cleanly. And again, the logos are symmetrical on both gloves. If you were to nitpick, you could say that that patch is a little bit crooked. Could have been, this side could have been brought down, so you can see it's got a little bit of a bigger gap there than it is here. But again, we're really dividing straws at that point in terms of being nitpicky with it. But you can see it's a little bit crooked, nothing too crazy. Comfort wise, sliding your hand into the glove. So the first thing I noticed compared to my blue pair is that this has a more pronounced secondary grip bar. So you can feel the first grip bar here, but they added what feels to be like a thicker piece of like neoprene on the finger compartment, which covers the stitching, and it kind of gives you a secondary piece for the tips of your fingers to really grab onto. I also noticed that although the leather is very similar, if not the same as my originals, it feels much more broken in compared to my original pair when I first initially got it. You can see I can open and close my hand with relative ease. I mean, there's really no resistance, which I love. I love gloves that have that flexibility. So what that makes me think is that they both use multi-layer foam padding. To what kind of consistency or what kind of foam they use, maybe I would assume a combination of like polyurethane, maybe some latex, open closed cell foams, but maybe they have modified it a little bit over the years because the original version was stiffer. No, it wasn't an overly stiff glove, it just wasn't as broken in and soft as this version of the glove. So I definitely like how it is in terms of you can make a really nice tight fist. The hand compartment itself where your fingers are at isn't too wide or too narrow, so you don't have to worry about your fingers bunching up against each other. The thumb is a perfect position as well. Piping isn't too tight. And the padding on the back of the thumb feels really good. You can see when I make a fist that the attached thumb does its job by keeping the tip of your thumb inside, but it doesn't pull down on the thumb either to where it feels like your thumb, the tip of your thumb is getting jammed down on. The wrist support feels really good. You can see that the elastic laces do a really nice job of really pulling the piping together and really getting that nice tight fit. And then you have a good amount of wrist support on the back of the wrist as well. So overall, the comfort on the glove feels really nice. No issues with the liner either. Because it's that Tricot microfiber style liner, it does have a much smoother feel on the inside of the finger compartment. It doesn't feel like it's bunching up where you have excess material like you find with some of the other polyester nylon style liner. So overall, very impressed with the comfort of the gloves. They feel great, especially for a 16-ounce glove. Doesn't feel overly bulky. Performance wise, it uses that multi-layer foam padding, and you can see it has more of a medium density. It's not stiff. I wouldn't say that it's extremely soft. I'd say maybe on the medium to soft side, but these are perfect for sparring, really great for bag work. You can use them for the mitts, and you get good amount of support and protection. So to me, just like the original Winnings, the purpose of this glove is a multi-purpose glove. It's a training glove that you can really use for everything. You know, compared to Winning, I feel like the padding they use on here is a little bit softer than the Winning. I mean, I know everyone says Winnings are pillows, and I feel like this one's a little bit softer. The hand compartment definitely feels a little different. It's not as snug as the Winning gloves in 16 ounces. This one feels a little bit more roomier than the Winnings, in my opinion, which is not a bad thing, especially once you have your hand wraps on and you put your hands into these gloves. It'll fit nicely. But you get a nice crack out of these, good pop. I know you guys look for that when you're wearing these gloves and you're using them in the gym. But overall, a really good all-around training glove. And I think that's what really makes these gloves popular, and why they've been popular with a lot of people that are in boxing, is that you're essentially getting a very similar glove to Winning. I'm not gonna say they're the same thing, but you're getting it at obviously a fraction of the price, and they perform very well for what they are, which leads me to my next thing, which would be the cost of their gloves. So they've been consistently at $99.95 for years now. I do know that there's a price increase with some of the custom colorways. I do know Ring to Cage does like some metallics and some custom colors, which may ask for a higher price point, but that's completely up to you. You know, I'm perfectly fine with the standard colorways, like the solid red, the solid blue, the black, white, whatever it may be. But at $99.95, I still think it's a great price for this glove. It's been tried and true over the years. I still think it's a really good value for what it is. You know, I love the quality on here. The leather's nice, the stitching is really good. The way that the hand compartment feels is really good. It's on point with weight. It's not ridiculously overweight or underweight. But yeah, overall, just a really solid training glove. If you're looking for something that's Winning inspired, that has the look of a Winning glove, full leather construction, and you can use it really for everything in the gym, then I definitely think that this would be a good option for you. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these Ring to Cage C17 boxing gloves. I'll see you guys later. Take care.